What's up, YouTube? Appreciate you guys for having me again. Let's not waste any more time. I know you guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you see the hat, you see the picture behind me. Let's not waste any more time. Yes, I am a black man. Yes, I am a member of the illustrious Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, root to the good bros. And yes, I am a conservative leaning man, and I am voting for Trump this election cycle. Now, just to break down this video for you guys real quick, I'm going to give you guys a little brief background history of myself and my voting patterns and how I came to the decision to want to vote for Trump this election cycle. And then, yes, some of my more personal opinions and takes on, yes, how this election cycle is going to go this election season, as well as just some of the common misconceptions and narratives being thrown out there about D9 orgs at large. So, yes, to give you guys a little brief background history of myself, I became 18 back in 2012. That's when I was able to vote in this country. That election cycle, it was Obama and Mitt Romney, and obviously I voted for Obama. Big surprise, right? The main reason why I voted for Obama, well, I was 18. I just wanted a black man to win. I didn't really fully understand government and how it fully worked. I had the regular educational stuff that you get in grade school, have your legislative branch, judicial, executive, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't really fully grasp how policies work and how they can affect everybody in a more in-depth kind of way. Like I said, I was only 18. But just to kind of build on that, even growing up, my family, we were never really that big into politics. I didn't really have that back family that was like, oh, you have to vote Democrat and nothing else. If you don't vote Democrat, you're the enemy. It wasn't never really like that. Yeah, we did vote Democrat for the most part, but it was never none of those kind of things going on in my household, me personally. I did see that happen in other black families around me growing up, but that really wasn't so much my experience. Now, moving on 4 years later to 2016, I'm a broke college student at the time. And at that time, during that election cycle, it was none other than Hillary Clinton and Donald J. Trump. And during the election cycle, I wanted to vote again, but I chose not to, you guys. Main thing was, I was rooting for Bernie Sanders. He was one of the Democratic nominees that was trying to go up. The main reason why I wanted to vote for him at the time was, one, he was endorsed by Killer Mike. I love Killer Mike. It was kind of the identity politics kind of thing. Killer Mike was a very passionate man. There was a whole lot of stuff going on in the black community with cops killing black people and stuff like that. So I was kind of more on my social justice kind of tip at that time, as well as he wanted to forgive student loans and things of that nature. And I'm a broke college student at the time taking no student loans. So how do you think I was leaning towards? And like I said, even during that time, I didn't understand government as in-depth as I would have liked to, that I do now. So I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, but we all know he didn't get the nod for the Democratic nominee. It went to Hillary Clinton. And at that time, I did not want to vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't like the Clintons before because, if I'm not mistaken, Bill Clinton was the one that had inducted the 3-strike rule, which locked up a lot of black people and stuff like that. So if I didn't like one Clinton, why would I like his wife? So I didn't want to vote for her, and I didn't want to vote for Donald Trump back then because I just thought he was just a bigot. He was just a rich guy. He was just putting himself out there and stuff like that. He didn't really understand politics. He was just doing his marketing ploy, what have you, all this nonsense, saying a bunch of crazy stuff. So at that time, I elected to not vote. Yeah, I know, shame on me, but at that time, in my mind, I didn't want to vote for two lesser evils. So that's kind of what it is. And also, while I'm saying this, I also do want to give a shout out to a YouTuber by the name of Anton Daniels. He was one that actually got me more educated on politics in general with all the YouTube videos, Millionaire Morning Show and all that stuff like that, which helped educate me and learn more. I even know now that Bill Clinton was the one that created the North American Free Trade Agreement, which gave away a lot of our jobs to foreign investors and stuff like that. And yes, understanding all the policies and politics that happened before my time, even up to now, to where I can make more informed decisions. If you're watching this, Anton Daniels, I appreciate you. I actually do plan on becoming a Patreon member and becoming a bag chaser pretty soon. Just kind of still getting some other stuff set up. But I also do want to say this to you, Anton. I do not appreciate the way you've been kind of dissing my org and D9s in general. If I ever get the chance to talk to you man to man, I would love to do so, just to kind of hash things out, because I don't think people have a good idea of us, or there's not just been a good representation of us. But hey, I'm not one to represent Omega Psi Phi as a whole, but I don't appreciate that. I don't agree with the man 100%. I don't really like that, but I do get where he's coming from because you're seeing other celebrities like, who is it? Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey and stuff like that. Look, they're celebrities of Omega Psi Phi, but that's not the full representation of us. And that goes for anybody else. But let's not get too sidetracked. Like I said, shout out to Anton Daniels for educating me and stuff like that. But let's get back on into the video, you guys. So now with 2016 out the way, let's move on to 2020. I'm out of college. I'm still trying to figure life out, trying to build up my career. I got a computer science degree. I became a member of Omega Psi Phi back in 2019. So I'm still trying to figure things out, but we all remember what happened in 2020. COVID hit. So that messed a lot of things up. So during that election cycle, I really didn't pay much attention to it. I did want to participate and vote, but the same thing kind of happened. It was the same thing of two lesser evils. I didn't want to vote for two lesser evils because I didn't like Biden either. And I still didn't understand Trump and how he actually did a pretty good job during his first tenure as president of the United States from 2016 to 2020. But like I said at that time, I still wasn't as informed as voter as I would have liked to have been. So during the election cycle, same thing, I elected to not vote for that particular season. Like I said, shame on me. It is what it is. It's already happened. You just have to learn and make better decisions moving on forward. Now, coming on to 2024, present day, today, looking on to my values in my life, I have more conservative values. I believe in the nuclear family. I believe in less government regulation. I believe in those sort of things. I'm not tied to a particular political party. Yes, to give everybody an understanding about me, myself, I just want to vote for whoever I think is the better candidate that I think can get the job done. I don't really care about your political party or standings. I do have my own conservative views, which will lead me to vote for more Republicans here and there, because conservatives kind of lean more with what my personal values are, but I don't care about either or political party. I'm not tied to it. I'm not super duper loyal to either or. I could really care less. If I thought an independent was the better one to do the job, I would vote for that independent. That's just how I am. That's how I vote. I try to understand who that person is, what their core values are, and what their policies are looking like. And now that I know how to understand economic policies and actually how the government works more and how you actually need people to manage the budget effectively from the taxes that we pay into to make sure that everything's running smoothly as far as infrastructure, education, security, and things of that nature. We have a lot of people, especially Democrats, mayors, all that stuff like that, that are just going rampant and just messing up budgets all over the place and just running cities into the ground physically. And we can't have that. With Kamala Harris, she's not shown me that she is capable of being president of the United States. She got handpicked to be the vice president. Back during that 2020 election cycle, she was running for president. She was saying stuff about Biden, saying he was racist. And even then, back in 2020, I almost forgot to mention, Biden even said, hey, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. But somehow black people still want to vote for Biden, which is insane to me. But here we are today. But back into that, Kamala Harris, she was the border czar. She let millions of migrants into this country. Even when she was a DA, attorney general, all that stuff, when she was in California, she locked up tons of black folks unjustly. Some of them are coming out now talking about their experiences with Kamala Harris and how they had to be let out of prison later on in life, but still had to serve from being wrongfully convicted because she was the public prosecutor and stuff like that. So there's nothing about Kamala Harris that really enticed me to want to vote for her. She doesn't show me that she's capable. She doesn't go to interviews and answer hard questions. Everybody just throws her lobs. I love how Trump and what's his vice president name, J.D. Vance, they go to all of enemy territory, whether it be MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, you name it. They go to all those left-leaning liberal platforms, and they're taking all the hard questions and answering the questions. You can go on their website and read their economic policies. The fact that Trump actually wants to audit the federal government, which I think is something we really need, and it's probably why he has a couple of assassination attempts on him. And yes, all those other things, just no tax on tips and overtime and all that. It's a phenomenal economic policy. He renegotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement to bring more American jobs back to our country, to give us more opportunity. Like I say, I'm more conservative. With me, I know black people, we always talk about we want reparations. Me, myself, I'm indifferent towards it. If we get it, great. If not, whatever. But I don't want a handout, and more than anything, I don't want anybody to get in my way. I just want the opportunity. As long as I have opportunities, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get it myself. That's just me personally. So that's kind of why I came to the decision now that I want to vote for Donald J. Trump this election cycle. Now, with that, because Kamala Harris, as we know, is an AKA, and the first thing she did once she even became the new Democratic nominee, because Joe Biden had a bailout because he had a terrible night against the presidential debate against Donald J. Trump back in June. I've even seen now that Democrats will eat themselves and they'll turn themselves at the flip of a dime. And like I said, mind you, I'm not tied to any political party. It's just I'm just seeing it for my own two eyes. And even with Kamala Harris, she's been given every position she has with vice president as well as presidential candidate. She didn't go through any primary. When she went through the primary back in 2019, 2020, she got demolished. And then out of nowhere, Biden just made her vice presidential running mate, which I don't know why he picked her, but he picked her. And then they end up winning. And now she's just been given the Democratic nominee because Joe Biden is losing his faculties. And now we've finally seen it. But she's been a failure with the border and all this other stuff. But people are just voting for it because she's quote unquote black, Indian, whatever. I'm going to get into all that. But more than anything, she's an AKA, and she's been using that to have women stroll to the polls. You got people, it's literally videos on YouTube and the internet right now talking about women rejecting men because of their own political standings. They're trying to vet guys and try to see if they'll tell them how they really want to vote. They're voting for Donald J. Trump. I'll forget that. It's insane to me that we're this divided. I get there's disagreements, and I do understand the conflict because with voting, that's one of the few things where what you do affects the next person, which is why people can be so passionate, don't want to talk about it as much because it can cause a rift and a divide. But to this degree, I've never seen it before, to the fact that it's been not one but two actual attempts on Donald J. Trump's life. It's pretty crazy to me. This election cycle, it's definitely going to be one for the books. This is probably going to be one of the biggest ones in the history of our nation ever. I've never seen assassination tips like this in my life. For yes, a person running for president, especially a former president, you'd think Secret Service would be able to protect them, but we have Mayorkas, who's the head of the Homeland Security and Secret Service, and that's all tied together, and we see that he's not fit for the job either. So we just need to rehaul the government locally and nationally. We just need to rehaul. We're getting taxed to death on every single thing. The way it's supposed to work is these public figures, these public officials, I should say, they're supposed to run these our taxes to make sure that they're reinvesting in us and our nation, our cities and our states and our municipalities, make sure that we have the things that we need to run and affect the country and that we have opportunity. Making sure that we have public transportation, sanitation, education, public safety, national security, all those types of things. And instead, they want to spend it on migrants who aren't even legal residents of this country. And we want to spend it on foreign wars and all that stuff like that instead of reinvesting back into us people, because that's where the money came from, it's us the people. But instead of them trying to fix the budget and run more lean and efficient, instead they want to tax us more, which is insane to me. So since Trump wants to tax us less, bring more jobs back, not be so involved in all these foreign affairs that don't really have anything to do with us and don't really serve us the way that it should, that's why I'm leaning my hat. And as far as all this stuff with people saying this and that about our D9 orgs, I don't really appreciate that. You do have to understand that a lot of these celebrity stuff like that might be a part of these orgs are not the full representation of us. Yes, as a black demographic, as a black group, most of us do lean more Democrat, but I think it's more so, yes, out of ignorance and identity politics. And the best we can do is just keep trying to educate one another, slowly but surely. It's not going to happen overnight, but the more informed we are, the better we can make a decision. The one thing that's the biggest issue with democracy is not democracy itself, but more so the idea of it and the fact that since all of our votes matter and all of our votes are equal, the issue is if one person's uninformed or ignorant or a buffoon of any sort of kind of thing like that, well, guess what? That person who's not educated or is just stupid for whatever reason, their vote is just as valuable as yours, and you're an educated voter. That's the issue with democracy. So that's why we have to make sure we just keep trying to educate people as much as possible, so that way we're making the best decision for ourselves and the people next to us and our families. So hope you guys enjoyed that. I look forward to just talking more about this. This isn't going to be the main topic of the channel. I just kind of want to address this because it's the hot thing, and obviously I'm part of D9 myself, and I kind of just want to just talk more and just dispel some of these mishaps or misconceptions about us, because I don't like how people are just thinking we just this and that and all that stuff. Some of the stuff, yeah, it's true, but like I said, we can talk about all those things. So appreciate you guys for having me. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Peace.